Hello, yep, it's Blight here Otaku back with you once again with another dose of screen capture. Because at least I hope this laptop is now back in action. And, well, I've got a little Google document here along with several tabs. Well, ignoring this one because I always keep this one active, because it's the last one I have open before I shut down the old browser. So, what are we looking at here? Well, actually, what we are looking at is part of the list for, well, what will be all of my PC build and upgrades over the next year. So, what we will start with is what will be the two final builds, which will be my two primary gaming systems, Kasumi and Ikasumi. Although I will start with Ikasumi first because, well, that is probably going to be the first one out of the two that we built, because it will be the low cost option, which will be built in the BitPhoenix Nova case that made the appearance in my bedroom overhaul video. Well, the first one, of course. And, well, as I said, depending on what is available at the time, it will either be an AMD Zen, a PowerDriver 6-core processor, it'll probably be the 6300, or a Intel Skylake Core i3. It'll be 16 gig RAM minimum because, well, even though 8 gig is the sweet spot for gaming now, I have Space Engineers and I want to play it. And from what I've heard, if you want the full experience, you need a metric crap ton of RAM. Which is why the gaming systems are 16 gig minimum. And the graphics card will either be a R9 480X or, hang on, did I get that right? Ugh. Excuse me. Ugh. No, it's 380. Oh, just 1 minute. Let me double check. Yep. Break out a new tab. Come on. Oh, goody. Yes, we're doing so much. We're taxing the system now, which is going to be... Oh, yeah, that is right. R9 380X. Right. Well, it is base R9 380X. It might go up to an RX 470. But then again, that depends on what I get, because I don't really want to be putting a RX series card or a GTX 10 series card onto older architecture. Kasumi is going to be the full fat system, which at its minimum is either going to be a Skylake Core i5 or whatever Intel based product is available at the time of building. Once again, it is going to have 16 gigs RAM minimum, again for space engineers is either going to have an RX 470 or a GTX 1070, but then again, that would also be down to change. And the case is the Cougar Panzer Max. And well, there is a reason why I've actually decided on that. And well, we have tabs, and we have this thing already loaded out. Because, well, currently it's not available, but it's $114.95, which puts it actually slightly cheaper at the moment than the Antec 1900 I was originally going to build it in. But there is one little thing about this that I actually liked, because not only does it have two USB 2, two USB 3, the power and reset, but it also has onboard fan control, which is a good thing, and it's nice. We also have a couple of optical drive bays, 5¼ stuff. Yes, this very large bump on the back. The reason why that's there, I'll explain in a little while. Yeah, so we get the old front, back, and top. And the arrays of fans you can install in this little beast. A little close-up of the interface, and it's a slider switch for the fan speed controller. Lo and behold, we are now seeing the inside of the case, but we only see optical drives. You only see the 5¼ inch drive bays, with no hard drives. Well, you're probably thinking they're under here, though I don't think anyone would be mad enough to actually put hard drives in a power supply basement. And, well, the next picture is going to answer the question. Lo and behold, the back of the case, and it's 8 drive bays. 2 3.5-inch and 4 8 2 but brain, oh blimey, and 4 2.5-inch. So I could easily have an SSD or a few SSDs. Depending on the board, I could probably end up with an M2 as a boot OS. I could have a few SSDs here, but I could also have 2 very sizable hard drives here, and everything is out of view. All you see through the window, this is windowed, is the hardware, and no hard drives, except for the one that's plugged onto the motherboard, depending on if it's visible to the unless it's covered by the graphics card. But yeah, look to be very, very nice. And well, a good option for a sort of like high-end computer. Right. Next in the list, well, as they say, I decided to change tones here because the 2 gaming systems are named from the Starship Operators anime. They are actually the laser defense systems for the Amaterasu. The next 3 systems are actually the dolls from Rosen Maiden, starting off with Shinku, who will be based off the Zoo Storm. Most if not all of the hardware, well, minus the processor, of the Zoo Storm PC that I'll be buying next week. Oh, hopefully. And that hardware is going to be moved into the Zalman Z12. And, well, going over here, Because what I wanted for a case on this, because it is going to be on the desk that I'm currently using for the laptop. Just checking things over. No drop frames, that's good. Right, because it's going to be sitting to my left. Bloody. Go and disappear, moth. Yeah. Right, because what I wanted, and what I actually liked about this case, if we break out the enlarged views here, because down at the bottom we have front audio, front USB 2. Further up we have power and reset. Then again, you're probably going to be thinking, well, if it's got front USB 2, where's the USB 3? Au contraire, it's on the top. Yeah, we got we got 4 5 1/4. I think that's a duplex 5 1/4, 3.5, and you have metric crap ton of hard drive bays. So if I wanted to add some extra capacity for a RAID card, depending on what hardware is in that case, I can do that. But yeah, a nice touch. USB 3 up the top, USB 2 on the front, because all my USB drives are USB 2. Although I might not be using the free SanDisk discs that I actually got, because, well, I dumped a few files onto green disk and I pulled it out and it was red hot. Yeah. Right, well, the processor is still going to be up in the air, but at the most it is going to be a Core i5. But because this is a refurb, I'm just sticking to the trends and I'm getting a second-hand processor. Yeah, though I should be able to get a decent processor for low cost. Yeah, the minimum RAM on this is going to be 8 gig, because I'm going to be putting 8 gig in after I buy this little beast. And its graphics card is going to be a 4 gig RX 460. Alright, and moving on to number 2, Suiginto, which is actually going to be based on my current daily driver, which probably has knackered USB, which the name fits because Suiginto was a broken doll, incomplete, and this computer is, well, yeah. So I am likely going to still be getting the 4 gig RAM upgrade to bunch it up to 6 gig. The USB 3 card that I was planning to buy is still going to be put in. However, I am going to be changing the power supply to a 400 watt semi-modular, and it is likely going to be a Be Quiet 400 watt semi-modular. The graphics card is going to be an R7240, because, well, I'm sticking to single slot, and this will probably get more out than the GT610 I currently have, or depending on how I feel, I might go period correct and actually buy a graphics card that was about around the same time as the processor was available. We got a new hard drive, and that is in quotes because I'm either going to be getting a second-hand hard drive or I might buy a B grade 2 terabyte. And the case it is being moved into is the Fractal Design Core 1500. And while I wasn't, I actually forgot I'd actually chosen this as its case because if we go to the picture, this thing has adequate drive space. And because what I could do is get a PCI RAID card and run and get a SATA optical drive. Right, I could easily get two, but I could run it off the RAID card and have 4 drives in SATA. Yeah. And one other casualty from this little thing is the wireless mouse on the laptop. But I'm going to be explaining that later. Right, so the final computer is Hina Ichigo, and she is going to be the computer on the plugged into the main TV, which is why I called it under or next to the TV computer, because, well, I weren't sure which case I was really going to put it in and where it would be located. It is going to be based off the Celeron G1820, which is going to be coming out of the Zoo Storm once I actually get the new upgrade process for that. It is going into an Antec P50 Micro ATX cube case. And again, this is I was originally going to go for a Zalman M1 or M3, can't remember the numbers, but I remembered that most of the mini micro ATX boards only had 2 SATA 6 gig and 2 SATA 3 gig. But what I actually liked about this case is it is actually dual chamber. So pretty much like the Ryzen Techaneus, which has motherboard above and a compartment below, even though the front fans can send air across both at the same time. This one has 2 separate compartments. The one on the left holds the motherboard. The one on the right holds the hard drive and power supply. And again, this is another one of those to USB 2 to USB 3. Front audio at the front. And yeah, a very unique hard drive configuration. You've got a few slots there. You've probably got another cage. Probably that cage houses the 3.5 inch. But it is a very nice case. Yeah, advanced cooling system, 3 fans included, 4 fan mounts, 2 fan control. Right, right, specifications. Here we go. Yeah, 2.5 toolless, which will be those slide-ins. 3.5 HDD toolless mounting, and that would probably be up the top of that compartment. Standard ATX power supply support. Yeah. So that'll be good. We have 8 gig RAM minimum, once again. and a 2 gig RX 460. Right, but we now also have a final entry down here, which is for this laptop, because it doesn't have a name, probably never will. But what I'm going to do, since I've hopefully fixed the issues with the hard drive and the system lockups, is I'm going to get this back into some sense of portability. And the first step in that is, of course, getting a new battery. And while flicking through the adverts on, flicking through everything through the listings on Amazon, I found a 7700 milliamp hour rechargeable battery that's compatible with this laptop. And the thing is, when in the it's one of the reviews for it said that the battery itself had actually a pronounced bump in it. So it is so while it fits the connection and the compartment correctly, the bottom of it actually goes down further, lifting the back up and improving cooling. Yeah, and these final 2 upgrades, well, will only happen once I've actually managed to get back into the cover. So, be upgrading the RAM to 8 gig, and I won't be keeping the 2 gig single stick that's in this thing. And I will also be cloning the hard drive over to a 1TB 7200 RPM laptop drive. So this practically has more space and is able to load faster because of the faster hard drive and more RAM. Excuse me. But then again, nothing can make up for that 2.1 GHz AMD processor. And someone's got their TV up very loud. Right, so I am now going to call this to an end because it is 2 in the morning. Also, I'm going to be ordering up a new headset, which is likely going to be the starting point for gaming. Yeah, right. Because what I'll be ordering is a new headset plus a VGA cable, so as I can at least hook up the Zoostorm PC to a monitor when it comes. So, that is all of that. So, well, it's now nearly 24 minutes, so I'm going to finish this off quickly. This is Blighty Otaku, signing off. Until next time, I'll catch you later.